Hey everyone, today we're going to dig into some seriously fantastic inspiration for turning any space you have, whether it's big or small, into your own little green paradise. We're talking all about box gardens, and we've got 21 brilliant ideas to really get your creativity going.
So let's kick things off with a simple question. Are you ready to think inside the box? Because trust me, when it comes to gardening, that is exactly where all the magic is happening right now.
First up, let's get into the why. Why are these contained little wonders so darn popular? What is it about them that makes them the perfect solution for so many people? Let's break it down.
So, what exactly is a box garden? Well, at its heart, it's just a contained planting bed, often raised off the ground. But here's the real game changer. That simple container gives you total control over everything: the soil, the water, the location. It's your own little green paradise, built exactly how you want it.
And the benefits? Oh, they are huge. If you're working with a tiny balcony or a small patio, they're absolutely perfect. They add this instant pop of life, a little pizzazz, as our source material calls it. And they're super practical. You get way fewer weeds and a lot less maintenance, which means you can focus on the fun part, turning that box into a living, breathing canvas for your creativity.
Okay, so we've got the why down pat. We know why box gardens are so great. Now let's explore the what, the container itself. And this is where you can really let your imagination run wild. See, your box doesn't even have to be an actual box. For example, what about an old filing drawer? It's such a cool way to upcycle something and give it a whole new life as a home for your plants. Or you could go for a more rustic, charming look with a beautiful antique crate. The possibilities here are just endless, from quirky and modern to classic and cozy. Basically, if it can hold soil, it can be your next garden. Now, box gardens aren't just about looking cool. They're also incredible problem solvers. For instance, what about the challenge of gardening with limited mobility? Bending over all the time can be tough, or even impossible for some folks. This is where box gardens really shine. By raising the beds up to window height or even table height, you completely get rid of the physical strain of bending down. And by making the paths between them a bit wider, you ensure easy access for a wheelchair or a walker. It's all about bringing the garden to you, making it a joy for absolutely everyone. Okay, let's talk about another classic homeowner headache, the dreaded sloped yard. It can feel like a total nightmare to plant on, right? The soil erodes, the water just runs off. So what's the boxed garden solution? This idea is just brilliant. Instead of fighting the slope, you embrace it. You build a series of tiered, stair-stepped box gardens. And what you get is a retaining wall that is both incredibly functional and absolutely beautiful. You're turning a difficult, maybe even unusable space into a stunning and productive part of your landscape. All right, so we've covered the why and the what. Now it's time to get our hands a little dirty and dive into the how. How do you actually prep these containers, and what in the world can you plant in them?
How you prep it really just depends on the container. For those cool upcycled items like a filing drawer, you'll want to line it with plastic and add some rocks for drainage. But here's a little pro tip for you. If you use large cedar beds, you can just plant right in them. Cedar is naturally resistant to rot and insects, which makes it a fantastic low-maintenance option. So let's just quickly walk through prepping a smaller, upcycled container. It's 4 simple steps. 1. Line it with plastic. This protects the container itself. 2. Poke a few holes for drainage. Super important, you don't want soggy roots. 3. Add a layer of rocks to help that water flow. And 4. Fill it with soil and your favorite plants. And that's it. You are ready to grow. So what can you actually plant? Oh, the sky is the limit. You can force spring bulbs like tulips, which is just a fancy way of tricking them into blooming indoors for some year-round color. Or you could create a gorgeous little arrangement of succulents, plant bright flowers, or grow a whole culinary herb garden right outside your kitchen door. You can even grow vegetables like carrots or a sweet little patch of strawberry. Okay, so you've got the fundamentals. You know the why, the what, and the how. Now it's time for the grand finale, the part that elevates your project from just a simple planter to a true masterpiece. This is the wow factor. I absolutely love this quote from the source material. It's talking about a beautifully woven box garden, and it just perfectly captures the goal here. You want to create something so stunning that the container itself is just as much of an attraction as the incredible plants inside it. So how do you get that wow factor? Well, here are a few brilliant little finishing touches. Try adding holes to the sides of your box to let plants cascade down. It creates this really lush, overflowing look. Topping the soil with sphagnum moss gives it a clean, professional finish. You could even use an old crate as a stand to create different levels and more visual interest. Or maybe add a little birdhouse to invite some feathered friends. And I just love this last idea. A small, planted box makes for such a unique and personal hostess gift. And believe me, these ideas are just scratching the surface. The original source is just packed with inspiration, 21 distinct and creative concepts to get you started on your very own box garden journey.
Which brings us to our final and definitely most important question. Looking at all this inspiration, from upcycled drawers to stair-stepped walls, what masterpiece will you create? The possibilities are truly endless, and your perfect green paradise is just sitting there, waiting for you to build it.